Hey guys, how you doing? So, I've had quite the response from a bunch of guys about the video I did about men's mental health and separation, divorce, and things like that. And so I thought I'd explain kind of why I think Jiu-Jitsu is unique in terms of what it does for men. And I obviously can't speak about how it feels as a woman, but certainly as a guy in Jiu-Jitsu, one of the big things is that I notice, I mean, you guys all know kind of, I'm pretty interested in psychology and how people think and why we do the things that we do. It's like a lot of the time, and one of the big complaints about guys, I think, is that you know, we struggle with intimacy and opening up to each other and being vulnerable and things like that. And I think Jiu-Jitsu just smashes that from day one, because literally day one you walk and you have to wrap your legs around another guy. He's going to sit on your face. You're going to lie on each other, probably sweat on each other a little bit. You know, you're going to kind of wrestle. It's pretty intimate. There's a lot of closeness. You can't really avoid it. And so immediately that whole intimacy, vulnerability, closeness thing is just shattered straight away. And that kind of lends itself to opening up in other ways. So you might start, you wrestle a little bit. Maybe when you're resting, you start chatting to the guy beside you, like, hey, so like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm a plumber. Oh, really? Well, whereabouts do you work? Because like a friend of mine needs a plumber, and or he'll be like, you know, it'll start off talking about work, and then not long it's talking about relationships and how things are going, and you know, struggles and all these sorts of things. And it's not long before guys start opening up and talking about deeper things. So I think that it's a very unique space for guys. You know, at work, everyone's kind of trying to be tough, and you have to be very professional, and you have to do your job and things like this. And so the relationships that you build at work, for the most part, tend to be a lot shallower. And so if you're struggling at all, then you want to be kind of stoic and not show weakness and things like that. And I think that Jiu-Jitsu, for the most part, more so than other arts, because of the closeness factor, really lends itself to guys opening up and becoming vulnerable. They have to admit that they can't fight. They have to admit that they're learning. They're white belts. They don't know anything, you know. And for like big, strong, kind of masculine guys to put themselves in that environment willingly and then deal with feeling vulnerable and feeling kind of helpless. I remember the feeling going home after my first class, and I sat in the shower and cried for like 2 hours, you know, because all the training I'd done all my life, all the martial arts I did was kind of just gone, and I felt really vulnerable. And so I was at a crossroads, like, am I going to go back and accept that I need to learn this stuff, or am I going to pretend that just didn't happen? And luckily and thankfully, you know, I chose the first option. I went back the next day, and I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu, you know, ever since. And so I think that I've done a lot of different martial arts, and like, yes, there's a closeness and a brotherhood and things like that in most arts, you know, but particularly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because of the closeness on the mat and the intimacy of it and the vulnerability of it, I think it really lends itself to amazing things for guys, for their mental health, and in terms of developing true friendships, and like a lot of friendships get started on the mat, and then afterwards the guy's like, oh, well, you know, do you want to go get something to eat afterwards and things like that. It's also super wife friendly. So if you have a wife or girlfriend, you know, and you want to come and do jiu-jitsu and wrestle guys and stuff like that, and that's kind of where you socialize with your friends, well, that's awesome, you know, because it's not going to the pub, it's not going to a strip club, it's not going to any other places, you know. It's very kind of wife and girlfriend friendly. And I just think that it's an amazing place for guys to learn about themselves, to build their self-esteem, to build their self-worth, and you know, it's kind of a safe place to be vulnerable, I guess. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing martial art. And as Pedro always says, the biggest benefit of Jiu-Jitsu is the social side of it. The self-defense side kind of goes without saying, but what other benefits are you getting from it? And that's got to be up there. It's got to be the next thing. So yeah, it's pretty unique, and I think I'm going to make more of an effort to move into go and speak to some men's sheds or men's groups and stuff like that, and see if I can't get more, fragile guys, to think about jiu-jitsu as an option to help them, get through a tough time and, build their lives and become better people. Anyway, that's what I think is going on. It's certainly happened for me, and I'm certainly, after 30 years of doing the art, I've seen a lot of transformations inside guys, and I saw a quote the other day that said that jiu-jitsu doesn't like, how did he put it? He goes, jiu-jitsu doesn't rebuild you, it reveals you. So the person that you are on the inside will get exposed on the mat. It will come out. Your insecurities will come out. Your frustrations, your sadness, and all your great points as well. They'll all come out. So anyway, get on the mat. Bye.